The first time these two fought, Conor McGregor came away with the victory. But will this rematch be any different? The truth is, Max "Blessed" Holloway is a completely different fighter today. And in this video, we're taking a closer look at how Holloway has been preparing for his rematch with McGregor, and why he believes this could be the fight that finally closes the book on Conor's career.
Welcome to MMA TV, built for true MMA fans.
What's up, everyone? I'm Zach from MMA TV. Today we're breaking down how Max Holloway is getting ready for one of the biggest rematches in UFC history. He's even been training alongside a former UFC champion to prepare for what's expected to be Conor McGregor's toughest challenge yet. But before we get into that, let's take a quick look back at their first fight. Back then, McGregor fought with a much wider stance, a lower guard, and his trademark ability to land clean shots while avoiding damage. That style allowed him to clearly win the opening round. The second round followed a similar pattern. McGregor controlled the center of the octagon, landed the cleaner strikes, and dictated the pace of the fight. Late in the round, he mixed in his wrestling, secured a takedown, and controlled Holloway on the ground. He carried that momentum into the third round and earned a unanimous decision victory. But there are two important things to remember. The first one I'll save for another video, where I'll break down my prediction for UFC 329 and explain who I think wins the rematch. The second is even more important. That wasn't the Max Holloway we know today. Looking back at that fight, it's hard to believe they were even competing in the same weight class. Holloway was still young, relatively inexperienced, and far less confident than the version we've watched over the last decade. Part of that was McGregor's brilliance, but I also believe Holloway simply hadn't become the fighter he was destined to be. Everything changed after that loss. Holloway went on an incredible run, winning 13 consecutive fights against elite competition. That streak included victories over Anthony Pettis, Brian Ortega, and Jose Aldo. His career eventually became more up and down. But one thing never changed. Max Holloway always delivered unforgettable performances, like this one. While slipping punches, Holloway was literally talking to the commentary team and telling everyone he was the best boxer in the UFC. It remains one of the most iconic moments in MMA history. Or this one, which in my opinion is one of the greatest knockouts the sport has ever seen. After dominating Justin Gaethje for nearly 25 minutes, Holloway pointed to the center of the octagon. He planted his feet, he threw caution to the wind, and invited one of the hardest hitters in the UFC to stand and trade. With just 1 second remaining, Holloway landed a devastating right hand that knocked Gaethje unconscious, one of the most unforgettable finishes in UFC history. That victory earned Holloway the BMF championship and reminded everyone exactly who he is. Unlike McGregor, Holloway has remained active, consistently fighting the very best in the world, and that alone makes this an incredibly dangerous comeback fight for the Irishman. To me, today's Max Holloway looks like a much more complete fighter. He's stronger physically, he's more mature mentally, and perhaps most importantly, he never seems rushed. He stays composed under pressure, absorbs damage when necessary, and patiently builds toward the finish. For this training camp, Holloway has also brought in former UFC champion Jack Della Maddalena as one of his training partners. A few years ago, that pairing might not have made much sense, but with McGregor's recent boxing-heavy style and tighter guard, Maddalena's striking could provide valuable preparation for what Holloway expects to face. Still, will that be enough? It's also worth remembering that this rematch will take place in a heavier weight class than their first meeting, which changes the dynamics of the matchup completely. I'm currently working on a full fight breakdown covering everything you need to know before UFC 329. So if you don't want to miss it, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks so much for watching, thank you for your support, and thank you for hitting the like button. I'll see you in the next video.